So this will be update video for the Occultist Cyclone COC Ice Nova, which I've been playing every single league. I am not going to the Ice Spear, even though honestly I think Ice Spear might have more potential now, but the problem has always been the mana for Ice Spear. Okay, it's such a big and problematic problem to deal with. I do not want to deal with. I know for the 3.26, I think Ice Spear will definitely shine very well in Saboteur, okay? But I am not going to waste so much time. I don't have that much time also, so this video is going to be very quick also. I'm going back to my Ice Nova, that's the plan. The end game will be the Mage Blood one, of course, which I will also introduce all in this POV, alright? So before I get started, there is something I want to address about. So, I have been trying to research and find out for the past few days, right, that let's just say your Ice Nova is being proc on the Frostbolt, correct? And basically based on your cooldown recovery rate plus your attack speed, how many times you're going to proc on the Frostbolt, correct? So let's just say at the high budget, we have an APS of 10, and basically you're going to proc 10 casts or 10 counts of Ice Nova. Now, the question is, this 10 procs of Ice Nova, is it on individual Frostbolt or is it spread among all the Frostbolt? Now, that makes a huge difference, okay? So let's say the previous version, which is you can expand up to 4 Frostbolts, that means that, does that mean that you proc 10 Ice Nova on 4 individual Frostbolt? That's 40 Ice Nova per second. That's insane. I don't think that's the case. Okay, I honestly don't think that's the case. So I went to test it out, and it seems like on the higher budget, I can't really seem to see what is being proc because there's really too many Ice Nova. I went to the lower and mid budget view whereby the cooldown recovery rate was lower and the attack speed is lower. So those that you can only proc like 5 times or 7 times, okay? But I seem to notice that the Ice Nova procs on multiple Frostbolts simultaneously and not individually, okay? But it seems like on the high budget it procs individually. Now I really do not know because on the high budget it procs 10 times, so it's really hard to see. Okay, so this is something that is still a question mark for me. I do not know, but my theory is residing more towards 10 casts of Ice Nova will proc on various Frostbolts. Okay, which means if that's really the case, right, the nerf to Ice Nova is not really a nerf for us. It's more towards like how fast you can actually clear the area, because if you have more Frostbolt means your coverage is more, correct? But if you have less Frostbolt means your coverage is lesser. Simple as that. Okay, so yes, this is something that I've been debating. I am not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to go through the POB right now. Okay, this is the Google spreadsheet. As usual, all my builds are put here. I have input the POB already. However, I really do not have time to do the trade links, okay? This trade link is not in use yet. Okay, there are a lot of things that needs to be changed. I will probably remove all the trade market links until I actually buy them one by one. Okay, so apologize in advance. This is the problem with PoE, because every time when the leak, it tells you that the leak is going to release 1 or 2 weeks before that. Like, I simply just don't have the time to do all this anymore. Okay, unfortunately. So yes, please bear with me. I will do the links as I purchase the items. Okay, I am extremely busy. Time is actually very tight on me. I barely actually finished fixing this build. Alright, so POB time. This is the default level 95 tree. Now there are actually no changes. There are no changes to this build. Okay, I think this is the most optimal build I can ever find already in terms of DPS, armor, survivability, decent amount of ES. Like yes, it can probably reach like 5k, but this is level 95 you're talking about. So as long as you go up just one more level, I'm pretty sure you'll be at 5,000. Okay, I'm pretty sure you'll be at 5,000. So of course you can always take more of the ES nodes. Please be my guest. There's like 3 over here also. So if you really don't want DPS, let's just say, okay, so let's just say at level 95, okay? Level 95 to 100 is basically the crit damage here, okay? And of course, more damage from the power charges. But if you do not want, you can always just stay here. You can always just stay here. It gives you a lot more ES, probably just 500 more together with this too, okay? Or you can just, no, it's taken already. So yeah, you can just take these two over here. I think it's actually decent also. However, I think the build is very tanky already, so you don't really need to go for ES. Like, the only possibility of you dying is you getting one shot by things. One shot being like heavy hitting stuff, probably heavy physical hits that crits you, right? Other than that, your armor is freaking high already, and you are on CI, you are on Chaos Inoculation, and you are on Divine Shield, and you have max block with Aegis Aura. I do not know what more do you want. Okay, of course our resistance is not like over cap, but I think still a good amount. So yeah, from the earlier days of COC, I think it has transitioned into a very tanky build with a good amount of DPS. So I really don't know what more you want. Alright. So this is the skill tree, and then of course there's like level 90 if you want to start from there onwards. Optimal, I would say, will be 95, 100, and then there will be upgrades. Okay, there will be upgrades along the way, which I will explain later. Alright, so another thing nice to take note of is our Frostbolt is 0 mana. As usual from the previous league, I managed to make it 0 mana, so you should not be concerned either with no regen or no leech map mods, okay? Because either one of these is still fine to do, but please do not do a map mod with maps with both modifier, which means no leech and no regen, you're just gonna die. You are just gonna die. Or you can just take in the mana flask and play a game, right? So yup, this is it for the skill gems, right? Again, everything is the same. Okay, everything is the same except this. We no longer need GMP, so just use lesser multiple projectiles. You don't even need what's that, quality on this. Just buy it from the vendor and just start leveling up. Okay, it doesn't really matter. The second changes is I decided to just go for Awaken COC 6. Okay, I think buying 5 is such a waste of time, because eventually when you play further in the build, you want to upgrade your build and change your belt. Like, the belt is what makes this build fun also. Going for Headhunter, going for Mage Blood, alright? So when you go for these belts, you basically need to elevate your boots, okay? Basically you need 18% cooldown recovery rate, which I will also explain later. And this is the reason why I feel just do not waste your time and buy a COC, Awaken COC 5. Okay, just go for 6 straight away. Right, and other than that, the rest has no changes. We are still going to continue to use Increased Critical Strike. Okay, I think this is still the best option, in my opinion, for the builds like right now before you actually go into Mage Blood. Because if I were to change to Increased Critical Damage, right, yes, your DPS will be a lot, but you will not cap your crit chance, okay? POB is basically just showing you numbers based on real percentage and probability. However, in the actual game, right, you not having 100% crit chance is almost telling yourself that you don't have 100% accuracy. And if you don't have 100% accuracy, you're not hitting as often, which means your DPS will drop actually quite significantly. The number of procs that you actually come out is also very unbalanced, right? Even if you have 90% crit chance, right, you basically going to trigger 9 times, alright? And these 9 times will actually affect your cooldown in between, like the procs of Ice Nova. So all of these numbers are not actually shown on POB, so please, whatever you do, every time you play COC, right, always cap your accuracy and crit. Okay, that is one and by far the most important aspect of this build. And then of course there's like Mage Blood variant. In the Mage Blood variant, I'll just explain now. Basically, you just change increase critical strike to increase critical damage because we can hit critical cap with the Mage Blood. Alright, default item is everything else is still the same. The changes I would say is of course the boots. I highly recommend to just buy the elevated or do it yourself, the elevated cooldown recovery boots, so that you don't have to touch it forever already. I think it eases up a lot, because if you were to do the lower end version with the rare belt or with cooldown recovery, and then you're going to upgrade it, you're going to spend more currency and you have to sell your old boots and your old level 5 awakened COC also. I think it's very troublesome, so might as well just spend that few divines just to buy this, okay? It's not hard. It's not hard. You probably just need to farm 1 more hour for it. So might as well. If you want to just do it all the way, just go all the way and build a very smooth build. Alright. Replica's Dragon Fang is the same. So here is also the same. I tried to actually reduce the accuracy, remove the accuracy rating, but I really can't find anywhere else that can fit in accuracy. Okay, not on the skill tree. Yes, I did try to fit Unnatural Instinct, but it takes too much points and I think it's not worth it. I really think it's not worth it. Whereas I can actually find attack speed in other small little parts of the skill tree or even items like here. So I think this is the best for putting your remaining like 2 to 3% accuracy. Right, and then of course you're gonna want to craft this ring yourself. I explain it in the Google spreadsheet, so please do take note. I think it's here. So yes, I basically tell you exactly step 1 to whatever it is, how to actually craft it. So do take note of that. Here we're gonna have resist ring, and then the belt straight lowest form is Replica Headhunter. Okay, Replica Headhunter is your go-to. However, if you really don't use Replica Headhunter, I don't know, for whatever weird reason, you can just use a rare ES belt. Okay, just use a rare ES belt, or just use any other belt where you think is good, but it has enough stats to cover your attribute requirement. Okay, that's the most important one. But otherwise, go for Replica Headhunter first, and then your upgrades will be Headhunter, and then your second upgrade will be Mage Blood. Right. Flask, still the same. Everything is the same. I'm not going to go through. We're still using Wise Oak because there is really no other better things to use on. We do not need Diamond Flask. Our crit is already capped without Diamond Flask. Okay, so not needed. Only the Diamond Flask is for Mage Blood. And then over to your passive tree for all the jewel slots. We have the small cluster jewel for reservation. Now this one is difficult to get. I will explain it later. Cold cluster jewel also. Crit cluster jewel. We are going for the crit, not area damage one. Okay, I know some of you have been asking me like why not the area one, because we are lacking in attack speed and critical strike chance. Okay, yes, I can change this to the area effect one, but that means I need to change this to a diamond flask, and I need to use a attack speed the attack speed mod on the flask. Okay, which is not exactly reliable, because when you're out of flask, or when you run mods with like reduced flask charges or whatever shenanigans, you are not going to maintain the same exact speed, right? So you can't have so many specialist flask on it whereby your flask is always full uptime. Okay, the max I will go is only 2, because there is a cooldown to how many flask charges you can get from this mod when you deal a critical strike. So I went for the crit one. It gives you movement speed, it gives you chance to deal double damage also. So with 2 it's like 10% chance to deal double damage. The damage is not exactly shown properly here. Okay, when you deal double damage, it is literally like flat double damage from whatever output you are doing. So whatever that you see on POB, right, the numbers, they are not accurate. I can bet with you 1000% the DPS is not what is the DPS shown right here. It is way more and way smoother when you actually play it. Trust me. Alright, and then you have the Thread of Hope here, which is the best thing ever, I swear. Putting it here just allows you to allocate Glancing Blow, Divine Shield, and these two, like just without many things, so you don't have to waste so much skill points. This is like so efficient and so good over here. And then of course you have the anti-corrupted blood jewel, which corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you. Just find 2 attack speed mods and put it here. Militant Fate, the usual. Watcher's Eye, this is something that I've changed. Oh, wait a second, why is this? Okay. This is wrong. Hold on here. Wait. Okay, so it is supposed to be this one, which is you have increased critical strike chance against enemies on consecrated ground while affected by Zealotry. Okay. Yes, you can go for the other mod, but I would just buy this and leave it there forever. The DPS difference is not a lot, but this is required for the Mage Blood variant. Okay, for Mage Blood variant, because you are short of that 50% critical strike chance, and this is kind of like needed. You don't really need to hit 110%, so any number will do on this. Hold on. So it's between 100 and 120%. Okay, as long as even if you hit 100%, it's fine. All you need is this minus 10 to total mana cost. Right, and then you have your crit multi-jewel, which is a triple critical strike multiplier for both sides of your skill tree. Okay, one is here and one is here. I think they are probably going for like 1 to 2 divs or max 3 only. Okay, it is fine. It's a good damage multiplier in the early game. You have nearly 400% critical multiplier. Oh yeah, right, it's written right here. Sorry, but yes. Okay, and then for the upgrades, your first phase of upgrades will always be this. Okay, your first phase of upgrades will be the Cosplay. No, it will not be Cosplay. Sorry, it will be your body armor, your +2 to level of socketed AoE gems corrupted on your body armor, and then go for the Crown of Inward Eye with +1 maximum power charge, and then go for the Aegis Aura with +5% chance to block. Why +5% chance to block? Because with that +5% chance to block, you can actually allocate this. Okay, +1 to critical strike multiplier per 10 maximum energy shield on shield. That gives us a lot more damage. Alright, and then what else is there? There is I remember there's one more. Oh yes, the Forbidden Flame and Flash. This is your holy grail to make the build insanely satisfying. Okay, what it does is it allocates the Elementalist node here. Gain convergence when you hit a unique enemy. So convergence gives you 30 more elemental damage. Now this is not written very specifically, but it gives you flat 30 more damage. Just in short, it gives you 30% more damage. That is a lot. That is really, really a lot. Okay, and if you do not have convergence, you have 60% AoE. 60% AoE. That is a lot. That is very, very huge. I am not sure if I can actually show it to you right here. I think there's like area effect mode, right? Is it? Here. Okay. So this is the one. So now it's what? 1.9 meters. Okay, I don't know why the picture is a bit small. Let me go to configuration. So I'm gonna untick convergence. Okay, you can see the difference is huge. And by the way, this is like against a Guardian and Pinnacle boss. Okay, yeah, the difference is huge. Then, oh wait, sorry, I'm supposed to untick this, and then you can see this is like 2.3 meters. Okay, it's not exactly showing a lot here, but I can guarantee you the AoE is huge. I'm sorry, it's not exactly showing very well here, but the AoE is huge. It's really huge. Okay, on top of that, we have a larger AoE right now from Frostbolts, so something good also, because when you have Frostbolts, you have 25% less AoE when cast on Frostbolt. Also, I mean Ice Nova. Ice Nova has 25%. Now this line is gone, so you are having the full radius of it. Okay, So yeah, this is for the upgrades, and then the last but not least, Mage Blood. When you want to change to Mage Blood, change everything to Mage Blood. Okay, all three sections of it. It is important. It is important. I would say what are the changes, right? Actually, for Mage Blood is, it's the same. It's the same as the upgrades, but I'm just putting it there for the sake of putting it there, so you know, like every time when you change it, you just change everything one shot. Okay. So skill tree no change. Of course, when you change to when you progress on from 95 to 100, your DPS difference is also huge. Okay, your DPS difference is also huge. You can see this is from 8 million to 20 million. It's huge. It's really huge. Right, the power of Mage Blood is just insane. Alright, so skills wise, we are changing to increase critical strike damage like I mentioned. Item, okay, those with a bracket MB means they are needed to change for Mage Blood. Why is the diamond ring here? This is not supposed to be a diamond ring, my bad. Okay, I'm gonna delete this first. Sorry. Save. The first thing that's on the list to change will be a ring. Okay, you no longer need the attack speed fractured, so just craft another ring. Because if you have attack speed, you're gonna overcap your attack rate, and this is gonna affect our DPS. Okay, remember to always maintain between 10 to 10.10. So as long as it's in between, you're gonna cast 10 times. That's all. Anything above that, the system will register you as you are not being able to bypass the cooldown, and you are trying to proc more Ice Nova. Attempt to proc more, but you are not able to. So they are dealing like about 20 to 30% less damage. Okay, so this is the change. We go for more ES now. Great, I guess. And then Mage Blood, of course, the belt. The Flask is just immune to curse. Alright, with the Quicksilver. More armor. Diamond Flask, increase critical strike chance. This is going to give you a huge ton of crit. And then your Silver Flask with elemental resistance during effect. Okay, I know previously I was using the stun, right? So I honestly think that is not needed. Like, yes, I do that stun from time to time, but I don't get like hard stun. Okay, I don't get like hard stun, so I don't feel it's a problem. I rather have this 20% increased elemental resistance, so that when I am farming with Eater of World or Eldritch Altars, right, I will not be bothered by their negative resistance. Okay, and then the next one is, of course, here. This anti-corrupted blood jewel, just change it to a crit multiplier jewel. Okay, because you don't need attack speed anymore. We basically need to reduce the attack speed. Okay, this is all you need to change for the Mage Blood build from the upgraded version. Okay, from the upgraded version. So, yep. On the notes, I actually written down here like what are the things you need to take note of when buying the build. I would suggest like this is a priority list to actually buy them. Okay, I'm just gonna go through a quick one because I have never ever spoken about this before. Number one and foremost, number one is a 14% attack speed cost free. This is not hard to get. The problem is your tailoring orb. Okay, the tailoring orb is what is needed to enchant your cost free to get 40% reduced attribute requirement enchantment. Why did I? Okay, it is an enchantment. Okay, so this tailoring orb, right, is always relatively cheaper at the start, and it starts to get damn expensive afterwards. Like very, very expensive. So as much as you can, try and do this first. Okay, this is like your priority tier list 0. Do this first no matter what. Okay, I remember last league I actually got this on day 2 or day 3. Okay, when it was like 2 weeks later, okay, I got it for like super cheap. I think I only bought like 8 tailoring orb or 10 tailoring orb, and it cost me like only probably 3 div or something. I think so. It was not expensive. I am pretty sure it's not expensive. I can't remember exactly how much, but 2 weeks later, the cost free with this enchantment is 50 divines or 60 divines. That is insane. Like, you can even use it as an investment to actually do it. Like, to invest in this build. So, yes, whatever it is, I think you can try to do this as an investment. Okay, but at your own risk. At your own risk. Right, the next will be crit medium cluster jewel with plus dex. Um, so here is the problem. We actually have a little bit of dex problem over here, and I try to slot it in into your cluster jewel. Now I know usually for the cluster jewel I'll tell you like not to get very specific stuff, but I think because we are so attribute stuff here right now, I have no choice but to put this in. Of course, if your boots actually have a resistance, then yes, by all means you can change all of this. You can change any of this. Like, well, you don't even need one more resistance. You can just change the attribute, and you don't have to find dex on your cluster jewel. Okay, this includes your co-cluster jewel also. So it's like a total of 20 dex. Yeah, if you can get another additional line of resistance anywhere, yeah, and then you can basically try and craft what's that, a dexterity on your suffix for your ring, and then you don't need any of these dex on your cluster. Okay, yep, so basically these two is the difficult ones, and then next will the most difficult ones to find will be the reservation small cluster. So all the clusters are actually more relatively hard to find, right? Because you need exactly what you need. I would say the reservation also is quite difficult because you actually need a tier 2 resistance and a tier 3 resistance with a 35% increase effect on it. Okay, of course the best next fourth slot will be ES if you can, but otherwise just go without the ES first. Okay, the ES is not extremely important, good to have but not extremely important. Alright, next will be the Watcher's Eye. Okay, the Watcher's Eye, you need a minus 10 to total mana cost plus increased critical strike chance. Now, just finding these two mod is going to be difficult. Okay, finding another one with a minus 10 to mana cost is even more difficult. So what I suggest is if you actually see a decent, if you see a Watcher's Eye with these two mod at a decent price, I would suggest you to buy it and just define it up yourself. Okay, I know it's gonna be difficult because it's between 5 to 10. I think. Sorry, I can't remember. I'm gonna just click in and see. Yes, it's 5 to 10. So on average, you only need like 5 divines on average. Okay, I'm talking about on average, you need 5 divines to just reach the minus 10 to total mana cost. Of course, if you're unlucky, just put in another 5 more divines. Alright, then the next one will be elevated cooldown recovery boots. You can attempt to elevate this cooldown recovery yourself. 7 will be the temple gloves, which is quite hard to find if you really want a good one. Now I know that the end game gloves will be to have the fractured temple gloves with the increased damage with hits against 3 enemies, but that one is going to be god damn expensive. Okay, one fracture all alone is like, I don't know, 5-8 divines, I think so. So it's gonna be quite difficult. Okay, unless you're able to get it in an early game, then you can fracture this thing and then you can self-craft it yourself. Alright, of course self-crafting is the best, definitely the best, but self-crafting with attack speed mod might be a bit difficult. Okay, and then what else is there? Ice Nova or Frostbolt 2120. Now I think maybe this one will be quite easy to get this league because of the nerf to Ice Nova that people think is probably shit now. I'm not sure. And then 9 will be the Anti-Corruptor Jewel because you need 2 attack speed mods. I would think this is actually quite rare. You need to get the exact attack speed, and then of course a Replica Dragon Fang with an above average stat. Now another thing that I want to emphasize on is what you need for this build. Okay, like I mentioned, crit is 100%, accuracy is 100%. Please also see here. The next thing you need to understand is your attack speed, overall attack speed increase must always be 70 or 71% max. Okay, max. Do not go anything above that. Do not go anything below 70%. Okay, I don't care how you get your attack speed, where you get the attack speed from, anywhere you get. Your temper gloves might not be 15% attack speed, it might be 14, it might be 16, it is fine. You just need to adjust here and there. Your rings might be okay, your rings is definitely 7% because you're getting a fractured one, right? But your jewel, okay, let's just go back to the default one. Let me show you. The default one, your here, this jewel, like for me right here on POB I have 5 and 7%. That is a 13%. Now you can get a 12%, you can get a 14%. It is fine. It is fine. You just need to play around with it. As long as it's between 70 to 71%. Like you see this one, I have 71%. It's still fine. It's still fine. Okay. You just cannot go beyond or below that. Alright, and then what else I need to mention? I think that's about it. We are basically immune to all the what is that? Ailments also, except one. Okay, except one, which is ignite. Okay, I don't think that is going to pose as an issue. That's why I always love to take Soul of Breath, because burning ground is a pain in the ass for us. So I don't want to be affected by burning ground. I am not affected by desecrated ground because we are on CI. And then it gives me 10% more movement speed. So like if you get that mod on your map, is a bonus. Like thanks. And then there is a 60% less duration of ignite on you. I think this is perfectly okay, because let's say if your ignite is like 5 seconds, you're only going to take like 2 seconds. That's not going to kill you. That's not going to kill you, okay? You're gonna get like burned very, 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 very slowly. So it does not, yes, it has not, and it does not pose an issue for me, even in the past league. So yes, this is about it. I hope you guys can enjoy this build. I am actually looking very forward to playing this build once again. I know chats and some of you guys out there have been telling me, are you gonna play the new unique with a star 4 cast on crit and whatever shit? Yes, I will probably play it, but after I've completed the Mage Blood version. Okay, once again, you guys know I am actually not as active and free as I used to be back in the days. I am very busy in real life right now, so I do not really have much time to actually grind or play. To me, PoE is a non-commitment stuff that I actually just love to play, but I do not have the time to commit. Right, me just doing this video, I think is actually very good already. It's actually something that I would love to commit to. Alright, I'll see you guys when league start in few hours. Bye.